I am finally sharing with you my updated entire designer bag collection. The last time I did one of these was 3 years ago, back in 2021. The truth is, I've been waiting to have my perfectly curated collection before I shared it with you, but that hasn't happened. I have 28 designer bags currently in my collection, which is a little much for my liking, but I thought if I waited for that perfect timing, this video will never get shared. So I've just decided to share where my current collection is. And I thought you can always watch my collection as it evolves over time. So here it is, my 2024 designer bag collection, from the most used to the least used. The first 9 bags are the ones that get frequent use from me, so these are the ones that are currently in constant rotation. The number one most used bag currently is the Dior book tote in the mini size with the strap in the classic oblique jacquard. I've only added this bag at the end of last year, so I've owned this for about 6 months now. Ever since I bought it 6 months ago, I've been using it at least 3-4 times a week. This has been my errand running bag. It's such an easy grab and go bag. I always liked the Dior book totes, but never really thought they were very practical until they came out with the versions with the straps. The strap is the game changer. Comes with the top handle, the adjustable long shoulder strap. It has an open top. You can just toss whatever you need to and go. Very easy. Whenever I don't really need security of having a zip top, this is the bag that I go for. It is a mini bag, but it does fit all my daily essentials, so it's definitely big enough for me. This colorway also surprisingly goes with a lot of different outfits, so I've really been enjoying using this. My second most used bag currently is, of course, my Hermes Mini Kelly in the black Epsom leather with the gold hardware. You just can't go wrong with this classic combination. Black and gold just goes with everything. It is just such a versatile bag, both in terms of color combination and also for the occasions that I can use it for. It can make for a really nice casual day bag, but it also dresses up beautifully if you need to wear it with an evening attire. So it is one of those bags that can do everything for you. The only thing is, it is a pretty small bag, so it doesn't fit a lot. It does fit my bare minimum essentials, but a lot of the times I am holding my phone in my hands, even though it does fit my iPhone Pro 15. It's not the max size, but just the regular size, but I am usually holding my phone anyway, so I can put a little more in the bag. Apart from how mini the size is, it is the perfect versatile bag, and I am such a light packer that I have been able to use this bag for all kinds of occasions, even for travel. And considering the amount of use that I've been getting from it, it has been wearing wonderfully. I mean, Epsom leather from Hermes is known to be really durable. It does also have the metal feet on the bottom. In terms of the wear and tear, the interior actually didn't wear very well. I believe the interior leather is Swift, so you can see a lot of marks in there, but it is a bag that I'm probably going to keep forever in my collection, so I really don't mind getting a little bit of wear and tear on this bag anyway. My third most used bag currently is my new J.W. Anderson corner bag in the black leather with the gold hardware in the small size. This is the newest addition to my bag collection. So I've only had it for about a month or so, but I've been using it a ton. So it's almost getting to a point where it's replacing my mini Dior book tote as an everyday errand running bag, because it is that little bit more spacious, and the black and gold goes with more outfits than the oblique jacquard, even though this one surprisingly goes with a lot as well. And this one has an open top, whereas this has the security of a full zip closure. You can see that it is a bag that I'm currently using overall for the last 12 months or so. The Dior book tote of course got more use from me because I've had this in my collection for longer, but if I'm ranking them purely based on how much I'm using them right now, I have to say this corner bag takes the cake. I am using this even more than my book tote. So I am really glad that I ended up getting this one as my easygoing casual everyday bag. I like that it is a bit more of a unique bag. Not everybody will go for this brand. I especially love this metal link detail. It makes the bag really cool. So I do like that it is a little bit different. So far I am really happy with this one. The next one is one that I almost let go 2 years ago, but so glad that I kept in my collection. and it is my Hermes Mini Evelyn in the gold clemence leather with the gold hardware. I bought this about 3 years ago. It is one of those bags that are really quite popular, so you do often need to wait a little to get your hands on it if you want it straight from the boutique, especially in such a beautiful color combination. I definitely waited quite a few months. I don't really love the Evelyn bag in general, but I do really love this mini size. I don't like the larger sizes personally. I think that they look a little bit too relaxed and a little bit too casual, whereas the mini size still keeps its structure pretty well because it is so small. But after I bought it, I never really used it. The silhouette was maybe a little bit too casual, so I really thought about letting this go until I had my baby. After becoming a new mom, I was so surprised how much I was craving this bag. It just looks really effortless with all my casual outfits. I also realized that I dress a lot more casually on a day-to-day basis after having my baby. So I am so surprised how much use I've been getting from this one. Actually, when I talked about possibly letting this go in a decluttering video 2 years ago, a lot of you pointed out to me, in the future, if you do ever want to be a mom, this will be such a great mom bag, and you guys are right. So thank you guys for your comments. But yes, I can't believe that this has ranked this highly on my most to least used ranking scale. My fifth most used bag currently in my collection is my Fureur Lepage Daily Battle Tote in the size 32 in the color Hot Sand. I believe all my Daily Battle Totes are in the older design now. I believe they've updated their design slightly. Anyway, you guys know that I do own a few Daily Battle Totes in my collection, and this Hot Sand one in the size 32 is by far my very favorite color. It just looks so fresh. It is a perfect summer bag, but it also looks pretty nice in winter as well because of these warm taupey leather trims. I love the yellow accents, and the size 32 is that perfect size for me. It just means that it is 32 centimeters across. So on those days that I do need to carry a lot of things with me, this is my go-to bag. If it's my laptop, if it's a water bottle, it is also a really good travel bag as your carry-on luggage bag. The Fureur Lepage Daily Battle Tote in general is my favorite designer tote bag style. So yeah, this is the one that I do get quite a lot of use out of. The next most used bag is a pop of color bag, and it is my Hermes Kelly size 25 in the magnolia color, which is this beautiful magenta, deep pink purpley color in the Togo leather with the palladium hardware. This was my very first bag offer from my Sydney Hermes boutique. It wasn't actually one of the colors that I asked for, but it was presented to me and I fell in love with the color at first sight. I did have a little bit of a concern as to if I'm actually going to get a lot of wear out of it since it is such a bright pop of color bag, but this color surprisingly works really well in my wardrobe. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know how much I've used this even on my European holiday. I used it everywhere in Santorini. It's just such a perfect color with all my summer dresses. So I do have to say this is a bit of a seasonal bag. It is a bit of a summer bag for me, and it has been summer here in Sydney. We're just going into autumn now. So this is a bag that I've definitely been getting a lot of use out of. I guess a huge part of my summer wardrobe is, you know, flowery dresses, really light neutrals. So of course this bag will go with a lot of those colors. Togo leather is a pretty carefree leather, and because this color is not so light, I don't need to baby it either. The bag still looks pretty good considering how much I've used it. So this is actually surprisingly one of my most used bags. The next one is also a really new bag in my collection, and it is the Loewe basket bag in the medium size with the tan leather details. I've only had this for a few weeks, but I've been using it a lot. Again, the weather has been pretty warm here in Sydney. It just looks so cool with all my summer outfits that I've just been using this a lot. Of course, it fits a lot. It is a huge open bag. You can just fit everything in it and go. It is the perfect picnic bag. I even put my entire mini bags in it when I'm too busy to switch out of my bags. So for example, if I've been using my mini book tote and I want to switch into this bag, I just put the entire bag so everything's just with me. It is that spacious inside. The only thing is it's got a huge open top. So security is a little bit of an issue with this bag. So what I often do is I use the dust bag that the bag came in as an inner bag. So I put all my things in there and then I close the drawstring. And one of my friends actually showed me this, but you can also tie this string onto the handle so that your items are extra secure if you are using this on a holiday somewhere and you're worried about the security and pickpockets and things. You can still really make this bag work. So yeah, I've been getting a ton of use out of this one as well. The next most used bag is my all-time holy grail bag, which is the Hermes Birkin 25 in the gold turquoise leather with the gold hardware. And this is a very special bag because it is a special order that we got from Paris. So this bag is a little bit different to your typical gold bags from the store. I changed the stitching to the tonal stitching, which means the stitching color is the same color as the leather. Usually gold bags from the store will come with contrast stitching, which is the white stitching. I also love that look as well. And it is a verso bag, meaning I changed the color of the interior leather. So I went with the apricot color, which adds a bit of fun to this otherwise very classic looking bag. This tan color is of course another great neutral that goes with a lot of things. So I've been using this bag a lot as well since I got it last year. The size 25 Birkin is pretty spacious, so you can fit quite a bit in there as well. It is definitely a small bag, but it is not a mini bag by any means. So I like that it has a bit of space. The only thing that people do get worried about is the handle drop, that the handles are pretty small. People often complain that you can't really easily fit the bag to the crook of your arm. I kind of can squeeze it up to the crook of my arm, but it is definitely a bit of a tight squeeze to get your hand through it, especially in winter if you've got thick coats or if you wear a big watch or a lot of bracelets on your wrist. I don't really. I am pretty minimalistic on my arms, so it's not an issue for me. So yeah, this has been a pretty nice bag to carry around with me very frequently. The next bag is going to come as a bit of a surprise because it used to be one of those bags that I rarely used. But in the last couple of months, I've been using it a lot, which really surprised me. I think it's because I've had a little bit of a shift in my wardrobe choices. And I am talking about the Chanel medium classic flap in the beige clair with the gold hardware in the caviar leather. I've had this bag for coming up to 9 years, I believe. It's one of those beige colors that look really rich and delicious, but it is a very warm tone beige. So it can be pretty challenging to pair this with your outfits, especially if you're a person who's really cool toned. Then this bag can clash with a lot of things in your wardrobe. But I am pretty warm toned. I do like my creams. Also lately, I've added a few basic pieces and I've been dressing a lot more simply, and this beige color goes with all those sort of more neutral outfits. So I was even surprised that I got to use this a lot in the last few months because I used to really never use it. So yeah, this has even surprised me. So those 9 bags are it for the ones that I've been frequently using, the ones that have been on a constant rotation. The next big bulk of bags are the ones that I occasionally use, but really not frequently enough. But I do still like these bags for the occasions that I get to use them for. So the first bag in this category of sometimes used bags is my Dior D-Joy micro bag in this blush nude color in the lambskin with the light gold hardware. This is a really small bag. You can imagine how small it is from the name. It is a micro D-Joy bag, but considering it is actually a micro bag, it does fit more than your average micro bags. It can actually fit my iPhone Pro. So it is a pretty usable micro bag. It comes with the top handles. It also comes with 2 strap options, a shorter chain strap for a more dressy look and also a longer crossbody strap that is adjustable. So it is a pretty versatile bag. You can wear it in a lot of different ways. It is also really cute and beautifully made. It has all the Dior classic features like your Dior charm, the canage quilting, the beautiful Lady Dior handles, and the flap. The interior lining is in the suede. So it is a bag that I really adore. It would get more use from me if it was that slightly bigger, but because it is so mini, it actually fits even less than what I can fit in the mini Kelly. The capacity has probably stopped me from using it more, but it is just so cute and beautiful, isn't it? And this color is again a perfect neutral for my wardrobe. So had it been slightly bigger, it would have been ranked a little higher on my list. Nevertheless, it is one I really adore. The next bag is my Birkin 30 in the black faux Jonathan leather with the palladium hardware. This was my very first Hermes bag. I got it in 2019 from Paris, from the FSH mothership store. I was on holiday with my bestie. We both scored Birkins. It was such a good trip. So it is a pretty sentimental bag in my collection. It has so many great memories attached to it, but it was one that wasn't really getting a lot of use because of its sort of bigger size. It is not a huge tote where you can put everything in, like your laptop. It wasn't big enough for that, but it wasn't small enough that I would want to use it on a daily basis. So since I got it, I used it a bit, and then it was one that I wasn't using a lot. But in the last few months again, I've started to fall back in love with it. I just love how luxurious this leather is. I'm not even sure whether Hermes makes this leather anymore. It was a new leather back then in 2019, according to the essay at the time. I did see a few bags in this leather pop up on the resale market as well, but since I'm not sure whether Hermes has discontinued this leather, I haven't really seen it or heard of it much. But it is a very similar leather to your Swift leather, but apparently it's a bit more firm and less soft, so it will keep its structure a little better over time. The reason I've been falling back in love with it is because I've been again dressing a lot more casually, and this bag goes so well with the whole carefree, effortless vibe. If I'm just even wearing some leggings and a sports top, this looks so chic, especially with the palladium hardware. Also, I used to prefer the gold hardware on my bags, but lately I've been really loving how fresh silver hardware looks. So yeah, this Birkin 30 is going to be a forever treasure for me. Next, I have the Chloe Woody Tote in the size small in this beige colorway with the tan leather details. This used to be my everyday bag. I used it for basically everything. Even though the name says it is a small bag, in my opinion, it's more like a medium-sized bag. It can fit quite a bit in it. It's a pretty simple tote bag with a strap. It's just got a small slip pocket. I love the look of this bag. It is such a cute bag. I love the size, but I guess I added a few other everyday type bags to my collection, so this hasn't been getting as much use from me, but it is one that I still believe is a really great everyday bag, and I still do get some use out of it. It's just that I've got more bags in my collection now that I rotate between. Next up is my other all-time holy grail bag. It is the Hermes Kelly size 25 in the Cray Epsom leather in the light gold hardware, which Hermes calls permabras hardware, and it was my very first special order I ever got from Hermes. My sales associate was kind enough to offer a special order for me, so you can see that horseshoe stamp right there. You can see with both of my special order bags, I went pretty boring and plain because I basically really wanted to design bags that I am going to love for years to come, the ones that I'm not really going to get sick of. I wanted to keep them really classic. And the same thing with this one as well. I just went a little fun on the inside. I went a different interior color once again, and this one is the happy mustard yellow color called John Amber. Anyway, I've been forever obsessed with the off-white colors from Hermes, but these colors were really difficult to come by, that when my essay offered me an opportunity to do a special order, I went straight for the cray color. But unfortunately, it is not a bag that I use very much, and I think it's mainly because of its silhouette. The Kelly 25 in the Cellier, which is this very structured shape, looks a little bit too formal and a little bit too ladylike for how I dress every day. It is not a very everyday bag, and with the color being so light as well, it is not one that I get a lot of use out of, but one that I treasure so much because I just love how pristine it looks, and I'm sure I'm gonna get to use this a lot more when I'm a little bit older. So yeah, it's one that I really love but don't get a lot of use out of. Next is another Hermes bag. It is my Birkin 25 in the Barenia Faubourg leather, which is one of their heritage leathers with the gold hardware, and this time it does have the white contrast stitching. It is one of my favorite leathers that Hermes does. I love the heritage leathers. It just smells so rich. It just has that really luxurious leather smell. The color is so deep and beautiful. Now, if you're new to my channel, you might be wondering, why do you have two very similar Birkins? You're a bit crazy. Well, there's a whole story behind how I ended up with two very similar Birkins. So I'm gonna link those couple of videos down below because I talked about this story so many times already on my channel. Even though they seem a little redundant and a little too similar, I've decided to keep them both in my collection for the time being because both of them are so special in their own ways. The gold has a bit more youthful, casual vibe, whereas the Barania has that little bit more of a mature vintage look. So between the two, I definitely been using the Togo more because it is a bit more of a carefree leather, and also it's got a bit of a light color, so it is more suitable for the warmer months. But in the winter months to come, I am sure I'm gonna start using the Barania one a lot more, but purely on how much I've been using both of them, the Barania one has been getting less use from me, which is why it's ranked a little lower on the list. The next on my list is my honeymoon bag. This is the Lady Dior bag in the small size in the iridescent grey water snake skin with the light gold hardware. I got this on our honeymoon in 2022 while we were traveling in Europe. This came all the way from Monte Carlo. The Lady Dior in a classic size like this size has always been on my wish list, but I really never found the perfect one for me. As soon as I saw this one, I thought this is such a special looking one. I love the color, I love the iridescence, I love that it is unique. The sales associate in Monte Carlo told me that they only distributed 5 of these bags in the entire Europe. So he said it's definitely a really rare item, and I've never really personally seen anyone else who has exactly the same bag as this, whereas most of my other bags in my collection, I know at least someone who has the exact same bag as me or something really similar to it. So I just love how unique it is, but I realize I don't really use grey bags very much because it doesn't always go with my color palette. Like I've mentioned, I'm more of a warm color toned person, so I don't really use this bag very often, but the few times that I do get to use it, I absolutely love it. It is one of those bags that I'm completely okay to have as an occasional bag. I don't need it to be an everyday bag. I do have other everyday bags. I just need it to do what it's supposed to do in my collection, which is to be a very pretty bag that I sometimes take out when my outfit looks really nice with it. Next up is my Chanel Square Mini Flap in the black lambskin with the light gold hardware. This used to be one of my most used bags for a long time actually. It is such a classic bag. I've had this since 2016. I've gotten so much use out of it. Even though it is in the soft lambskin, it's been holding up so well after like 8 years of constant use. The only reason it doesn't get as much use from me anymore is because I've been using my Mini Kelly a lot. They're exactly in the same color combination, the black with the gold hardware. They are both versatile bags that can work from day to evening, but I've really been preferring to use the Mini Kelly because of its clean lines, because it doesn't have any logos on it. It just looks a lot more simple in my opinion, whereas the Chanel Mini has the quilting, the CC logo, the leather and metal chain, so it is a bit more of a busy looking bag in my opinion. So I've just been preferring to use my Mini Kelly, but I'm so thankful that I have it in my collection because one, when I purchased it, the price was so much better than what they are now. I believe I paid like 3,500 Australian dollars for it. And two, the quality. From what I hear, the lambskin doesn't hold up as well anymore. And I really feel like this lambskin is really hearty and durable. So I am really glad that I have this. Next up is my Jimmy Choo mini bonbon bag in this beautiful gold sparkly tweed with the gold handle and the gold chain. This was my wedding bag, so of course it has a lot of sentimental value to me. It is one that I don't really use very much because, as you can see, it is an exclusively evening bag, but I just absolutely love how dressy it looks, how festive it looks. It is my go-to Christmas season bag. It looks perfect with a lot of evening attire. I love that it is still reasonably priced, around 1,500 Australian dollars. I know Jimmy Choo is more well known for their shoes, but still to get a bag from a designer brand for $1,500 is still a pretty good value for money these days. This bag I only occasionally use when I have an evening out, which I don't have many of those anymore because I do have an 8-month-old baby at the moment, but it is one that I absolutely adore and cherish. The next bag on my list is my Fendi PVC basket bag in this cute pink color. I've got an Hermes Twilly on it at the moment, which I think makes the bag really even cuter. When I first unboxed this bag on my channel 2-3 years ago, a lot of you guys told me it looks so silly, it looks so cheap, whereas some of you guys absolutely loved it. I really still love it. It is such a cute bag. It is exclusively a vacation bag, so of course I don't get a lot of use out of it, but it is one that I take on every single holiday. I took it on my honeymoon to Positano. I take it on all my weekend getaways. We recently went to Hunter Valley on the Easter long weekend, which was Baby C's first ever holiday away from home. We took this bag and I did a fun what's in my bag video with Baby C. It was the cutest thing. So I am gonna keep this bag because it looks so cute with Baby C as well. And it is one that comes with every single holiday with me. The next bag on our list is the Saint Laurent Mini Lou camera bag in the grained black leather with the silver hardware with the beautiful tassel. A couple of you actually let me know that this style is discontinued by Saint Laurent now, which I was really sad to confirm and see. Now they have a new Mini Lou camera bag without the tassel, and I believe they only produce it in the smooth leather now. I still think that this is one of the best value for money designer bags that you can get. Since it is a camera bag, it looks really nice worn casually, but also dresses up really nicely because of this beautiful chain. It is just unfortunately one that I don't really use very often anymore because I do have other black mini bags that I do get more use out of, but this is such a carefree bag that I love using it on a rainy day. I love using it on those days that I'm going to places where I don't really want to have to worry about my bag. It even has a back pocket, so it's a very practical bag, but I guess it's just one that I don't use all the time anymore. Next up is my other Chanel mini flap bag in the rectangular shape with the top handle in this beautiful dove grey lambskin with the brush gold hardware. This was from the 21A collection, which is their Métier d'Art collection. At the time, mini bags were still somewhat reasonably priced, so I was always open to adding a coloured mini flap into my collection since I only had the black mini flap and I really wanted to add a rectangular shape. And when I saw that they came up with this top handle version in this beautiful color, I contacted my SA straight away and I was just in love with it. I actually went on launch day to pick it up, but truth be told, like I mentioned with my Lady Dior bag, I just don't think I'm a grey bag person. Grey is technically a neutral that can work with a lot of different outfits, but for some reason, I just don't tend to grab a grey bag. I guess the other thing with this particular bag is that it is a pretty pale grey, so I do worry about colour transfer if I was to wear it with jeans or a darker coloured outfit, which is a shame because I think this colour works really well with denim. I will still be mindful of colour transfer. So yeah, it is a bag that I love the look of, but I just don't reach for it very much. Next up, I have my Louis Vuitton Alma BB in the Epi Leather in this pop of red color called Coquelicot. I'm not sure whether they do this color anymore. I love how bright it is, and this one is with the silver hardware. I also hot stamped my key clochette with my Korean name initial E in the silver. I got this quite a while ago as well, before I started this YouTube channel. I believe it was either 2015 or 2016, so it is a pretty old bag in my collection. I used to use this a lot as my summer bag since it is that perfect summery pop of red, but since I added my Magnolia bag to my collection, it hasn't been getting used as much. I've been finding that a lot of my dresses actually look better with this pinky color over this really red color, but I really love Epi Leather from Louis Vuitton. I love this color. This is the only red bag in my collection, so even though I don't get to use this a lot, I love having a really nice red bag in my collection. I'm gonna talk about the next two bags together because they're very similar bags and they're the ones that I don't frequently use for the same reason. So I've got two of the Fureur Lepage Daily Battle Totes. This one is the larger size, the size 37 in the color Paris Blue. This was the very first Fureur Lepage bag I ever bought for myself. And the other one is the Burgundy size 32 Daily Battle Tote. This one's slightly different. It has has the zip. I believe even the zip tote versions, they've modified the design a little. So this is the old version with the Paris blue one. At the time when I added this, I only had a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, which I was getting a little fatigued with because it was just seen everywhere. So when I first came across Fred Lepage as a brand and saw these Daily Battle totes, I just fell in love with them. So I actually ordered this directly from France because it was when we didn't have Fred Lepage stores here in Australia. Since I bought it, I used this a ton, but I found the size to be a little bit too big for an everyday tote. So I ended up adding a size 32 in the burgundy color, and I wanted the zip version this time to add something a little bit different to my collection. And this was a really special bag because I got this bag when Fred Lepage first opened here in Australia in Melbourne, and I actually got to collaborate with them on a video. So I got this bag from their collaboration, which I thought was so special. But the reason I haven't really been using both of them is simply because my favorite is the hot sand in this 32 without the zip. I think I like my totes without the zip. If I need the security, I'd rather have little pouches inside where I can keep my valuables secure in the pouches. I just don't think I'm someone who likes her totes to actually have zips because it really modifies the shape and the vibe. See how the zip one looks a lot more structured and it looks flat because of the stiff zipper at the top, whereas the open top one just stays really nice and malleable and rounded on the sides. So just because of this hot sand one that I just really love the most, I haven't been getting the use out of the other two totes, but I do love having different color options for these large totes. Now, these last few bags are the ones that I never really use or really rarely use. I feel like this video is getting so long. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with me on this long video. So let's talk about those few bags that I never ever use. The first one of these is my Speedy 30 in the Denier Ebene. This was my very first designer bag that I ever got, and I've used this to death for the first couple of years. I think this was my only designer bag for a good while there, and I used it for everything from day to evening. Back then, big bags were pretty popular, so I got the size 30, but since my collection expanded, it is a bag that I don't really use anymore. It is not the most versatile bag because it is an exclusively top handle bag. If I got the version with the bandolier, which is the shoulder strap, maybe I will still be using it occasionally when I do need that larger bag. But since it is an exclusively top handle bag of a large bulky size, it doesn't really serve any purpose in my collection at the moment, but it has a huge sentimental value to me with a pretty poor resale value. I mean, how much am I gonna get if I saw this bag? Not much. So even though I never really use it, I don't ever see myself letting this go. The next bag that I never really use is unfortunately my Fred Lepage Saga City bag in the mini size. I believe this is the 18 centimeter size. It is a really beautiful bag with this beautiful blue jacquard in their classic print. I love the pop of yellow that they always do, but I haven't really been using it. I guess it's because with Fred Lepage, I do really prefer their tote bags. I really appreciate the details, the uniqueness of it, and the craftsmanship, but for some reason, it's just something that I don't really use. I guess this bag is maybe a little bit too cool for me. The way I dress is maybe a little bit boring and a little bit too feminine. Yeah, it's just a bag that I don't really choose to use. The next bag on our list is the Alexander McQueen, the curve bag that I was influenced to get after watching a K-drama called Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. The main character in that show was a dentist, a very fashionable one, and she sported a lot of beautiful designer bags in that show. She wore this one in one episode and my eyes were immediately drawn to this bag. I loved how cool it looked. I loved how structured it was. I loved how unique it is. So as soon as I saw that, I went online and searched for it and got it. I don't regret getting it because I've used this quite a bit when I first got it. I got it in a really neutral color, in this sort of tan brown color. So it does go with everything. It does fit quite a fair bit as well. It has a magnetic flap. So I actually still really love it. There's nothing quite like this in my bag collection. It's just unfortunately one that I don't really use very much. Next one is the mini pouch from Bottega in their beautiful beige color with the interwoven intrecciato leather. This color is absolutely gorgeous, but it is so small that even my phone can't fit straight in. You have to maneuver it in like that. Back 3 years ago when I first got it, that didn't bother me much, but with my evolving lifestyle, being a new mom, I just don't like to use bags that are too fussy. So I actually listed this for sale on my Instagram closet page where I sell some of my items. But to be honest guys, the only reason that this bag is still in my collection is because I tried to sell it, but I just couldn't. I got a couple of offers, but the prices were so low that I thought, you know what, I might as well just keep it in my collection and let it sit looking pretty, because frankly, I didn't want to get pennies for it. Guys, the resale market is definitely really slow at the moment, which is the other reason why I haven't curated my collection as much as I wanted to. I wish I decluttered a little more a couple of years ago when I really wanted to, but life has just become so busy. I really didn't have the time to do it, and now the resale market is so slow that I've almost kind of half given up on curating, to be really honest with you. So that's what is happening with this bag. And the other bag that I've been trying to sell because I wasn't getting the use out of is my other Bottega bag, which is the yellow mini Jodie bag. I've actually consigned it, but it just hasn't been getting any interest. I guess it's a color that not everybody will go for. But yeah, that bag, again, beautiful design, beautiful color, but it's a bit of a fussy bag. It's only a top handle bag with a zipper that is a little fussy. So again, with my new lifestyle, I just haven't been using fussy bags at all. So these two Bottega bags, I really never use anymore, but I just couldn't sell them. So they are still in my collection. Well, the yellow Jodie bag is with my consigner. It still technically belongs in my collection. So there we have it. That is my current entire designer bag collection, which could probably do with a little bit of curation, but I am happy to keep everything as they are at the moment because of how slow the resale market is. And besides, I do love every single one of these bags, which is why I purchased them in the first place when I did. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this long video. Thank you so much those of you who made it this far. I'd actually love to know who stayed this far, so do let me know in the comments below if you actually watched till now, because I just love to know and say a personal thank you to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending some of your precious time with me today, and I can't wait to see you again soon in my next video. Bye guys!